Are you ready for a revelation? Right now, amidst the relentless buzz of your daily routine, ancient wisdom is waiting to be rediscovered, promising not just peace of mind, but a profound transformation of your everyday life. Stoic philosophy, crafted by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca over 2 millennia ago, offers timeless strategies to cut through modern chaos and find genuine contentment. Today we dive deep into this philosophy, not just as a historical curiosity, but as a practical guide for living well in a world that often seems spinning out of control. If you've felt overwhelmed by the pace of modern life and are searching for a way to reclaim your tranquility, you're in the perfect place. Stick with me as we unlock the Stoic secrets to living a richer, more balanced life. And you wouldn't want to skip ahead and miss the secret to eternal calm hidden in the outro. Number 1. Managing stress and expectations. Let's talk about something that touches all our lives: stress and expectations. It's like this constant background noise that never seems to quiet down, right? Whether it's work deadlines, family responsibilities, or the pressure we put on ourselves to be perfect, it can get overwhelming. But this is where Stoicism steps in like an old friend with some sage advice. The Stoics had a pretty revolutionary take on stress and expectations. They tell us, quite bluntly, that a lot of our stress comes from how we perceive the events around us, not necessarily the events themselves. It's about our reactions to those events. If we can change our perceptions, we can manage our stress better. This idea is rooted deep in Stoicism, where the focus is always on adjusting what's happening inside our heads rather than outside them. For example, if you're stressed about a big presentation at work, Stoicism wouldn't tell you just to deal with it or suppress that anxiety. Instead, it would ask you to examine what you're really afraid of. Is it the act of presenting? Or perhaps it's fear of what others will think? Stoicism teaches us to dissect our fears and then focus only on what we can control, like preparing well for the presentation. Whatever judgment comes from others, well, that's outside your control, and in the Stoic view, not worth your worry. Stoicism also helps us manage expectations, both the ones we place on ourselves and those we perceive from others. It advises us to embrace a kind of mental flexibility. Say you've planned a picnic and it rains. You could let it ruin your day, or you could adapt your plan. Maybe it turns into a cozy indoor picnic. The rain hasn't changed, but your response has, and that's where your power lies. And here's another Stoic tool, the dichotomy of control. Basically, you divide your experiences into 2 buckets: what you control and what you don't. You focus your energy only on the first bucket. This simple yet profound practice can drastically reduce stress because you're no longer tangled up in things outside your reach. So when you find yourself weighed down by stress or crushed under the weight of expectations, remember the Stoic approach. Shift your focus from what's happening around you to how you're reacting to it. This doesn't just minimize stress, it transforms it from a roadblock into a path forward, turning what could be a source of worry into an opportunity for growth. As we continue exploring Stoicism, think of it not just as a way to reduce stress, but as a strategy to recalibrate how you engage with life's challenges. It's about not just surviving, but thriving by realigning your expectations and responses to be more in harmony with what's truly within your control. This isn't just philosophy, it's a daily, practical toolkit for living a less anxious, more fulfilling life. Number 2. Embracing our true selves. Diving deeper into Stoicism, let's tackle a theme that's super relevant in our always connected, always on world: embracing our true selves. In an age where social media constantly urges us to present only the best parts of ourselves, where does the authentic self fit in? Stoicism offers a refreshing antidote to this modern dilemma. At its core, Stoicism encourages authenticity, urging us to strip away the facades and focus on what truly defines us. It's about asking ourselves, who are we when no one's watching? The Stoics teach us that the essence of a fulfilling life is to live in harmony with our true nature, to act according to our core values rather than the fleeting demands of society or even our fleeting emotions. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, often wrote about the importance of self-awareness. He advocated for a life where our actions reflect our inner beliefs and virtues. This is not about being stoic in the small s sense, unemotional and indifferent, but rather about being stoic in embracing and expressing our true selves through our decisions and actions. Think about how freeing this can be. Imagine not being swayed by every trend, every like, every passing opinion. Instead, you're anchored in your true self, stable and secure, because you know who you are and what you stand for. This isn't just liberating, it's incredibly powerful. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, your responses, your values, you create a life that's not just reactive to external pressures, but proactive in pursuing genuine fulfillment. But how do we start this process of embracing our true selves? Stoicism suggests a practical approach: reflection. Take time each day to reflect on your actions. Were they in line with your values? Did you act out of habit or intention? Reflection helps us become more conscious of our actions and choices, guiding us back to our authentic selves when we stray. This kind of self-examination can be challenging because it requires honesty and vulnerability, two qualities that are often shielded by our public personas. But the Stoic path encourages us to break down these barriers, to question why we wear masks and whom they serve. It pushes us to ask if we're seeking approval from others or from ourselves. And the beauty of embracing your true self, Stoicism teaches, is that it leads to a more stable and peaceful life. You're no longer as easily shaken by external criticism or praise, because your sense of worth and your identity come from within, not from the ever-changing opinions of others. You learn to trust yourself, to respect your own judgments, and to live with integrity. As we continue this journey with Stoicism, remember that embracing your true self is about more than just self-acceptance. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values. It's about being true to yourself in the most profound sense. This approach doesn't just change how you see yourself, it transforms how you engage with the world, making every decision and interaction more meaningful and authentic. Number 3, honesty and integrity. These aren't just buzzwords in the Stoic playbook. They are foundational elements that can dramatically transform how we navigate our world. When we talk about honesty in the Stoic sense, we're not just referring to not telling lies. It's much deeper than that. It's about being true to your own nature, your own principles. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, stressed the importance of integrity as the consistency between what we say and what we do. He argued that for a life to be good, it must be consistent with nature, including human nature's rational and social aspects. So, when we talk about honesty, it's not only about our interactions with others, but also about being honest with ourselves. Think about it. How often do we deceive ourselves? Maybe we tell ourselves that something doesn't bother us when it does. Or perhaps we keep pushing on a path that we know isn't right for us because we're afraid to admit we made a mistake. Stoicism teaches us that these little dishonesties can accumulate and lead us away from a life of virtue and happiness. Being honest with ourselves requires a kind of bravery. It means looking at our failures and shortcomings squarely, not to criticize ourselves, but to understand where we can improve. This is where the Stoic practice of self-reflection comes in. Each day, Stoics recommend examining our actions and intentions, asking ourselves if we lived in harmony with our values and where we might have gone astray. This isn't about beating ourselves up over mistakes, but about learning from them and realigning our actions with our true selves. And what about integrity? Well, it's the natural extension of honesty. If honesty is about being true to the truth, integrity is about living that truth consistently. This can be particularly challenging in the face of external pressures. It's easy to stand by our principles when they align with what others expect, or when the stakes are low. But the real test of Stoic integrity is sticking to your values, even when it's difficult, even when it might cost you. Stoicism doesn't just offer the why of integrity, it gives us the how. It teaches us that our real duty is to our own rational and virtuous nature. When we live with integrity, we're not just being morally upright, we're aligning ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living according to reason. This alignment brings a profound sense of peace and satisfaction because you're not at war with yourself. Your thoughts, words, and deeds are all in harmony. So as we continue exploring the rich tapestry of Stoic teachings, remember that honesty and integrity are not about adhering to external standards or societal expectations, but about being faithful to your deepest self. By cultivating these virtues, we build a life not only of outward success, but of inner tranquility and strength. This is the Stoic way, not just surviving in the world, but thriving with a clear conscience and a steadfast heart. Number 4, building resilience against negativity. Now, let's tackle a topic that's crucial in today's world: building resilience against negativity. It's something we all face, right? Whether it's harsh criticism, pessimistic views, or just the everyday setbacks that can drag us down. Stoicism, with its practical wisdom, offers us powerful tools to build a kind of mental armor against these negative influences. The Stoic approach to handling negativity is not about ignoring it or pretending it doesn't exist. Instead, it's about developing a perspective that allows us to deal with negative situations and comments without letting them overwhelm us. The Stoics taught that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about those events. This idea comes from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who reminded us that we have the power to choose our reactions. The negativity isn't what impacts us, it's our response to it that matters. So, how do we cultivate this Stoic resilience? It starts with the recognition that we are in control of our thoughts. When faced with negativity, we can pause and ask ourselves, is this something within my control? If it's not, Stoicism teaches us to redirect our focus to what we can change, which is usually our own attitude and response. This doesn't mean being passive. It's about being actively engaged in choosing a perspective that promotes peace of mind. Another Stoic strategy involves reinterpreting negative events. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often practiced what is known as the turning the obstacle upside down technique. This means looking at a setback or negative comment as an opportunity to practice virtues such as patience, understanding, and resilience. For instance, if someone criticizes your work harshly, instead of reacting defensively, you can view this as a chance to practice calmness and to evaluate objectively if there's something valuable in the feedback. Building resilience also involves preparing for negativity. Stoics like Seneca recommended a practice called premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This involves visualizing what could go wrong and mentally preparing for it. This might sound a bit pessimistic, but it's actually about reducing the shock and impact of negative events when they do occur. By contemplating these scenarios in advance, we can lessen their emotional impact and think more clearly when faced with them in reality. Moreover, resilience in Stoicism is about maintaining a broader perspective. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, but Stoicism teaches us to zoom out and consider the bigger picture. Will this matter in a week, a year, or 5 years? Most often, the answer is no. This long-term perspective helps us realize that much of the negativity that seems so critical in the moment is actually trivial in the grand scheme of things. In cultivating these Stoic practices, remember that building resilience isn't about becoming impervious to negativity or immune to pain. Instead, it's about equipping yourself with the tools to handle challenges more effectively and maintaining your tranquility in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. This way, we're not just surviving the storms, but learning how to sail our ship steadily through them, guided by the wise and calming principles of Stoicism. Number 5. The power of patience. In the fast-paced whirlwind of our modern lives, patience can often be overlooked. However, within the framework of Stoicism, patience is more than just waiting quietly. It's a proactive tool for living a more peaceful and meaningful life. Stoicism teaches that patience is the key to emotional resilience and clarity. Think about the last time you lost your patience, perhaps in a traffic jam or waiting in a long line. The frustration builds, doesn't it? Now, imagine handling that same situation with a sense of calm acceptance. That's the Stoic approach. It's not about passivity, it's about choosing a response that aligns with your values and desired state of mind. The Stoic philosophers, especially Marcus Aurelius, often discuss the idea of seeing obstacles as opportunities. When we're forced to wait, or when things don't go as planned, it's actually a chance to practice patience. But why practice patience? Because each moment of patience strengthens our ability to deal with larger challenges in life. It builds up, like muscle strength, each time we choose to use it. But how do we cultivate this powerful virtue? One way is through mindfulness. Stoicism encourages us to be fully present in the moment. When you're truly in the here and now, you're not anxiously looking forward to the next thing. You're deeply engaged with the current moment. This presence helps dissolve impatience because you're no longer racing towards the next experience. You're living fully in this one. Another Stoic practice is to set realistic expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we expect everything to go smoothly all the time, we're setting ourselves up for frustration. Stoics like Seneca would suggest that we adjust our expectations to be more in line with how life actually unfolds, which is rarely perfectly according to plan. This adjustment can drastically reduce feelings of impatience and dissatisfaction. Moreover, Stoicism invites us to reflect on the impermanence of our circumstances. This perspective is crucial because it reminds us that most of what we await anxiously or impatiently will not define the course of our lives. Whether it's the end of a long line or the resolution of a more significant issue, understanding that this too shall pass can foster patience. In practical terms, building patience can start with small daily challenges. Next time you're in a situation that tests your patience, take a deep breath and remind yourself of the Stoic belief in accepting things we cannot change. Ask yourself what this moment can teach you. Is there an opportunity to grow in virtue, to practice tranquility, or to simply observe your own reactions and learn from them? As we embrace the Stoic practice of patience, we don't just make our lives easier, we enrich them. We give ourselves the space to react thoughtfully rather than impulsively, to appreciate the present, and to handle life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Patience, in the Stoic sense, truly is a form of action, an active engagement with life on its own terms, leading to a deeper satisfaction and a profound peace of mind. Number 6. Living Stoicism every day. Let's delve into how we can live out Stoicism every single day. It's one thing to understand Stoic principles in theory, but the real magic happens when we apply these ideas in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy for the quiet moments of reflection. It's a practical toolkit for action, designed to be used in every aspect of your life. Living Stoicism. Every day means making a conscious effort to integrate Stoic virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance into your daily interactions and decisions. But how do we take these lofty ideals and make them workable day to day? It starts with small, consistent actions. For instance, consider the Stoic practice of mindfulness and presence. This can be as simple as really listening when someone talks to you, instead of thinking about what you'll say next or checking your phone. It means being fully present in your interactions, giving others not just your time but your attention too. This is both a practice of justice, in giving others what they are due, and wisdom, in learning from every moment and every person. Then there's the Stoic attitude toward challenges and setbacks. Every day won't go perfectly, that's just life. But when things go awry, instead of getting frustrated or upset, ask yourself what this obstacle might be teaching you. Is there a lesson in patience here? A test of your resilience? Can you find an opportunity to practice your virtues in the face of adversity? This isn't about suppressing your emotions, but rather choosing a response that aligns with your values. Another daily practice is reflecting at the end of the day, which was a favorite of Seneca. Take a few minutes before bed to think about the day's events. What went well? Where did you struggle to live up to your Stoic ideals? What could you do differently tomorrow? This reflection not only deepens your understanding of Stoicism, but also cements your commitment to living it out. It turns philosophy from something you read about into something you live. Embracing Stoicism also means adopting a mindset of gratitude. Stoics are big on appreciating what they have, rather than lamenting what they don't. Start each day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. This practice shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, cultivating a sense of contentment and joy that can carry you through the day. And let's not forget about exercising control over our reactions. This is perhaps one of the most practical and powerful aspects of Stoicism. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. This means choosing not to lash out in anger, choosing not to wallow in self-pity, and choosing not to let fear dictate your actions. Each of these choices strengthens your Stoic resolve and brings you closer to the ideal of living a virtuous life. Living Stoicism every day is about more than just personal tranquility. It's about becoming a better family member, friend, colleague, and citizen. It's about making choices that not only benefit you, but also contribute to the welfare of those around you. So, as we continue to explore and apply these ancient yet incredibly relevant teachings, remember that every day is an opportunity to practice Stoicism, to turn philosophy into action, and to transform both your life and the lives of those around you through your example. Number 7. Conclusion and call to action. As we wrap up our journey through the practical and profound world of Stoicism, it's clear that these ancient teachings offer more than just philosophical insights. They provide actionable strategies that can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. It's been quite the ride, exploring how these time-honored principles can help us navigate the complexities of modern living, from managing stress and embracing our true selves to practicing patience and living out our values every day. Remember, Stoicism isn't about mastering a list of theories, it's about embodying a way of life. Every moment offers a chance to practice these virtues, to turn challenges into opportunities for growth, and to make choices that reflect our deepest values. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, living intentionally with wisdom and courage, no matter what life throws our way. Now, I invite you to join me in bringing these Stoic principles into everyday practice. Let's commit to being present, to facing life's challenges with a calm and steady heart, and to treating ourselves and others with kindness and respect. Let's make Stoicism not just something we study, but something we live. If this journey through Stoicism has inspired you, if it's given you new tools to handle your daily struggles, or if it's simply piqued your curiosity about living a more Stoic life, don't stop here. Like this video, share it with friends who might also benefit from a little Stoic wisdom, and subscribe if you haven't already. Your engagement helps spread these valuable lessons to more people and supports this channel in continuing to provide content that enriches and enlightens. As we close this chapter on Stoicism, remember that each step we take in understanding and applying these timeless principles brings us closer to a life of genuine fulfillment and tranquility. It's not just about the big moments, but also about the quiet reflections and daily choices that shape our destiny. Let this wisdom not only dwell in your mind, but also resonate in your actions and interactions. Now, if you're ready to dive even deeper and continue transforming your life with Stoic principles, take a look at the playlist on your screen. Each video is designed to help you grow and find peace in the chaos of everyday life. Click on it, keep watching, and keep striving towards a life of virtue and contentment. Thank you for spending this time with me, and remember, the journey to a better self is always ongoing. Let's keep walking this path together.